Retro anime. How did we find it? How does it hold up? Unpacking the ins and outs of being an old school nerd and proving that 80s kids can't remember a damn thing right. These are the mindless midlife musings of the anime nerd.
Welcome to Mindless Midlife Musings of the Anime Nerd. I'm Rick, and I'm joined by the rest of our panel, Vic, Brian, and Lynette. Hello, everyone.
Hey, everyone.
Hello.
What's up, y'all? How you doing?
Excellent.
How are you doing, sir?
Excellent.
Okay.
So tonight, we're doing our part by enlisting in the Terran Federation Military and joining Johnny Rico as we become Starship Troopers. Starship Troopers is a 6-part anime OVA based on the 1959 book Starship Troopers by Robert A. I'm going to screw the name up. Heinlein? Heinlein? I don't know. Heinlein. It was directed by Tetsuro Amino and produced by Sunrise and Bandai, the Gundam team, basically. Starship Troopers was released in 1988 and never saw a Western release at all.
Ever.
So, there we go.
I don't know why. Because that music is fucking fire.
It
was so 80s.
Yes, it's very 80s.
Beautiful.
Johnny Rico is a high school football player, and he decides to join the army after hearing that his classmate and longtime crush Carmencita has enlisted. Rico learns of an interstellar battle with alien forces as he survives boot camp to become a soldier in the Terran Federation's mobile infantry. Would you like to know more? We're going to talk about it.
Motherfucker.
So,
Well played. Okay, so did you find yourself doing the same thing? Trying to look for
100%.
Okay.
I looked for every
wasn't the
connective
only one
tissue I could
then.
find. Look,
What we're
guys,
referring to is that this is
the first adaptation of Starship Troopers into a multimedia product.
Right.
The original, this came out in what, 80, as what I just said, 80, oh, I didn't say,
8?
88, yeah. Just came out in 88, and the film came out in 97, so let's beat it by a decade.
And by film, I mean the one with like Casper Van Diem,
Yeah,
Neil
correct.
Harris,
Yep.
Kurgan.
That's right. Clancy Brown himself as Zim. So that was fun. It's a same name. They didn't change the character name.
So basically, what they did was they did a reverse. I don't know if you say reverse, but they basically went from the way people talk about how Nick Fury was white and then black. They won't make him black and then white. So there's precedence.
So ironically, this is called the most faithful adaptation of the source material, but Johnny Rico in this is still blonde hair and blue eyed. In the books, he's Filipino. So, but nevertheless,
Which makes sense if you think about it. They're in Buenos Aires.
yeah. So it's yeah.
Oh,
so
it's
anyway,
also how
still
many years in the future? I read something like 700 years from now,
something like that. Yeah.
or from the 1960s.
I'm
So,
gonna jump into this real quick. Before we do our usual thing, I'm just gonna tell you, guys, I affectionately call this Boot Camp the series because holy shit, I'm gonna give you the breakdown. Episode 1, Johnny joins the military. Episode 2, Johnny is in boot camp. Episode 3, Johnny is still in boot camp but on the moon. Episode 4, Johnny is still in boot camp but on Mars. Episode 5, Johnny finishes boot camp, gets in a fight with the Navy, and in episode 6, Johnny goes to war. It took it's like those are my core notes.
It's like the first 20, 30 minutes of the movie.
I was
20
sitting there going, what's happening?
I was like, damn, they're spending a lot of time on him learning to be a soldier. I was
And they didn't even make it fun. I was like, I think it was like Project A-Co where they at least made it fun. Where she was trying to learn the things.
They
No,
took
there was
it. They
nothing
took themselves very
fun.
seriously, and there are a lot of things to say about this anime and like how it approaches the idea of soldier life and military life, and so it was interesting to me to watch compared to Verhoeven's version of Starship Troopers because his is
Right.
like all about the the propaganda machine and like militarism and the extremities of it and all like, and it's
And no mechanized suits.
right. But then you get this version, which is sort of telling this, but without all the over the top propaganda and
Right.
the,
It's like
the
the actual story feels like it's somewhere in between.
yeah. That's kind of where I landed on. I was like, this is very interesting, and it like I feel like it wants to tell a compelling story about what it is to be a soldier during wartime, and and all that. And there's a lot there. I just don't. I don't know. Let's find out if it landed.
So if, if you if you think about it, right,
Yeah.
there have been movies that deal with the whole boot camp process, right?
Without a doubt. Yeah.
And then they talk about basically what happens after they leave there. Like, for instance, I think a really good correlation would be Stripes with
Sure.
Bill Murray.
Yep.
You know, that does boot camp from the start to, and then they have their one we've graduated mission.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know,
Absolutely. And I think that that's probably what they were going for with this. I just feel like I was like, guys, you have in your hands a story that like is about so much more than just the boot camp experience.
Yes.
exactly.
Like, not that that's not an interesting story to tell. It is. But it's like, bro, you're teasing the thing, like the thing that
Yes.
everybody. Yeah, and that's why I think like when Verhoeven got it, he's like, nah, we're going straight to the fucking bugs. This is happening.
Right? It felt like Sunrise started, and it's like, okay, great, we got enough. Hopefully, it's enough. And it's like, oh, we're gonna work on another Gundam series. Okay, never mind.
That could very well be it. So this starts out episode 1. It's very familiar story. Johnny he's a football player in high school. He's got a crush on the cheerleader. He's this one. He's not like the quarterback or like a star player or anything. He's sort of just mid.
And he loses the game.
And he loses the
Yeah.
game. Big, and then he finds out that Carmencita is joining the military, and that's basically his whole motivation. The entire series.
And they go through, I think one of the things that grounded this whole thing
Yeah,
is they made Johnny lose immediately.
like a lot too.
Mhm.
Yeah,
A lot. So
they did
Yeah, he wasn't like a total badass. He
at
was.
all. Yeah,
He was
and
just
and
an
I
average dude.
I do appreciate that he wasn't a star player. They
Mhm.
didn't take home a trophy.
right.
He started out. He wasn't like anything spectacular. He was just a very run of the mill kid in high school who had a crush on a girl. And-
Whose father is freaking wealthy.
Yeah,
Yes.
yeah. I mean, there's that, of course.
Well, apparently that school in Buenos Aires, everyone's rich.
Yeah. So he decides to join the military because he wants to be near or impress Carmen. And his mom hates that idea. His dad's not a fan of that idea either, but it's more like, I don't like it because your mom like really fucking hates it. And
Like seriously, dude, your mom.
yeah,
Yeah.
that's basically his defense. And that's like the whole first episode, right? Like his mother hates it. He decides he's going to do it anyway after walking around at night and dreaming of Carmen and whatever. And then his mom, he goes to visit his mom before he leaves. She slaps the living shit out of him, gives him the full Hikaru slap, and then she kind of dips. And he's like, I'm gonna
Yeah.
join the military anyway.
Can
So-
we just talk about the amount of slaps that goes on in this movie?
For
There
sure.
were a few.
This will
There
not be
were-
the last slap.
This is
we
not the
got.
last
No.
slap we get. No,
They do a great job of showing. Oh man, this
they do.
he got
They
tagged
do.
right
He
here.
sure did. He
They
does.
just needed the handprint, really. All
Yeah.
that.
So yeah, basically episode 1 is that. Episode 1 is I play football. I like the girl. I'm gonna follow the girl into the military because that always works out. And and that's it. And that's episode 1. Episode 2 starts with him going to boot camp. And it starts with a cruise ship that's being rerouted, and what they're doing is they're it's info dump because this is going to be relevant later kind of thing, and you're just like, oh, this cruise ship's coming. Oh wait, there's aliens hidden on board kind of thing. But then he starts boot camp, and you're immediately introduced to Charles Zim, his drill sergeant, who is the coolest thing in this whole series.
Mhm.
He's fucking
He can just
wild.
look at you, and everybody's like, "Okay, yeah,
He
we're
was
gonna do
so
what he
cool.
says."
This dude is
He
always
started-
angry looking.
Starts out beating the shit out of his recruits. It was
Yes,
fucking
he
great.
Like, what you say?
I think that they're even with this
Yeah.
whole part where you're introducing them and them
Yeah.
going through the whole, and of course we've already discussed that we've been looking for the parallels between
Yeah.
here and the movie.
Yeah.
And if he had used a knife on him,
I was, dude, when he started talking about the knives, I'm like, here it comes. Here it comes.
He's gonna.
Here it comes. You cannot push a button. It's like-
because it feels like that was such a cheesy line.
yeah.
It would have been perfect animated.
And
Right?
it was totally in the vibe of the characters. The one thing I give Zim is he's a consistent character, regardless of his race. He is a consistent character between this and the movie. He's a hard ass, and he is absolutely dedicated to the survival of his recruits. It's cool. I dug him as a character.
Kept me focused.
But then you get to meet the rest of the recruits. There's a bunch of them. There's there's Pat, and there's Heinrich, and there's there's a bunch of them.
Smith.
Azuma.
Smith, and so like you meet a bunch of these guys here, and this the whole thing is sort of just about their sort of growth into being a unit, into being a platoon and a group, and friends, but also soldiers together, kind of thing. So I respect that. I really liked Pat's girlfriend. The picture of Pat's girlfriend. They're all getting settled in their bunks. And they're all talking about their girls, just like an old timey World War II movie. It's like, I got a girl back home, it's they're about to bust out in song like Mulan. And
What do you want?
a girl we're fighting for. Yeah, that was it. I was fully expecting it. And Pat busts out his picture of his girl, and she's just got this absurd. Her nose is absurd. It's absurd. And everybody's like, she's so old. He's like, shut
I
up.
think that was probably one of the most jarring things, considering that this was Bandai.
Yeah.
Is that if you had to put up the animation face wise
Yeah.
between this and G.I. Joe the movie, G.I. Joe the movie felt more anime than this did.
That was a conscious decision here to make that girl's nose. It was just really funny.
But all the characters, they did not have that typical anime.
They really did. Yeah, the animation style was very Western.
Yeah.
It was a very
Right.
Western look to the characters.
like the eyes on Carmencita.
Oh my
freaked me
god.
out sometimes.
The fuck. Every time she was on screen, I was worried for my life.
Just pickles.
Not to mention, she looked like she was
Seriously.
in her 40s.
Like, if she didn't
That's-
blink. Like,
At all.
she had some Hannibalness going on there. I
Seriously.
was like, oh my gosh.
And I was just like,
Like,
Johnny,
she looking at me,
this is
like,
the girl. Like, for real?
you know,
you mentioned
know,
fava beans, and I might cry.
Do you know who has a worse stare than her?
Hmm.
Fucking Craig.
You leave Craig
I
out of
think
this.
they
He
might.
works
I
hard.
think they might be.
Carmen
might be
Sita, I think,
even.
wins.
Can you imagine those two in a stare off?
Mm.
I give it to Carmen. So
Craig and Curtis in a stare off.
that's it, Carmen.
Okay.
So you find out real quick that power armor is incredibly hard to use, and they remind you of this over and over and over and over and over and over and over again.
And you know what? I actually like that as opposed to many other anime titles where someone gets it within like the first 10, 15 minutes.
The way I see it is if you're gonna spend 3/4 of your anime in boot camp, you may as well make the power suits genuinely hard to use because they clearly needed 5 episodes to get their shit together.
Was it just me, or was it funny when they said, "Make sure your coffins are intact and ready to go"?
I
Like,
did
that was
very much enjoy a lot of the colloquialisms they used.
Not
It
only
was-
that, when they're talking about make sure you bring it back because it's worth more than you.
Worth
That
more
is
than you.
such-
Yeah.
Yes.
That is such a military statement.
So there's so much of
Mhm.
that in here that I appreciated. Like
Yeah.
it really did nail the grunt aesthetic of what it is to be infantry. Like it nailed a lot of that, that a lot of those beats. I did appreciate that. I really did. So yeah, you find out the power armor is hard to use. Zim is just giving Hendrik the runner. Like he's just not letting that up on this kid. And then you find out Zim is made of fucking stone because Hendrik has enough.
The word you call is steel. Steel.
Hendrik has enough, and he lands one on Zim. Zim doesn't flinch. Zim doesn't dodge.
He
Zim
doesn't
just
budge.
Zim doesn't fucking move.
There's
Which
no
is
movement
really-
at all.
React doesn't
And
hit him
nothing.
back.
He just
Nothing.
looks at him like he was Hendrik was
I
like the dumbest person in the world.
Like,
So
are you done?
That was amazing. It was amazing. It
Yes.
showed a level of self-restraint I only wish I had. It was amazing.
It actually scared everybody else. They were like,
It did.
"Oh, no."
It
It
is like
scared them into
this
shape.
could
They
be
were like,
fun.
you know what? We really need to listen to this guy.
we should probably pay attention more. So yeah, the power armor is hard to use. Zim's made of steel. And now the grunts are firemen. The grunts are recruited to help stop a fire that's only a few miles away from where they're at. So they put the guys who don't know how to pilot their power suits in power suits, and they give them fire extinguishers, and they say, "Let's go. We're going to send only 3 of you to help stop this fire." So they do that.
and while this is happening,
Yeah, while this is happening, aliens make mom go boom.
Yep.
It's the best. It's just she's at the airport picking up her buddy, and yeah, the aliens they busted out of their cruise
Whatevers.
ship and wreak havoc, which are the reason the fire exists at all. And they lay waste to the airport, killing his mom, killing Johnny Rico's mom, unbeknownst to him at this time. And the episode ends with Hendrik washing out. He didn't want to do it anymore. He
had a
leaves.
panic attack.
Yeah.
3 feet into a fire.
Yeah,
Yeah.
he pussed out.
He did.
but you also get Johnny's first taste of bravery
Yes,
or heroism.
heroism, which he is rewarded for appropriately.
Being punched in the face twice and told to run. You can get punched in the face twice and have to do PT. There you go.
I have a love-hate relationship with Zim for so many things. It's like he did the right thing and he got punished for it. Like that's just anyway.
The whole
Did the right
reason
thing,
was
but he
because he
didn't
said
follow
he didn't
orders.
tell him.
I
He said,
get
didn't
it.
tell you to save anybody. I
Yeah.
told you to come back.
And like I get it. I get it. One of the most important core things about being in the military is teaching your soldiers they have to follow orders. And I get that. I get that. But this is why I wouldn't be in the military. This is why I'm bad at the. This is why I balk at the very idea of being in the military. I'm terrible at taking orders.
Well,
But-
I could actually tell you that again. This is not something that you see that's uncommon to just this movie. You know,
Mhm.
you can think back to Maverick and Top Gun, right?
Yeah.
When he saves what's his name?
Rooster.
Cougar.
Oh, in the first one, yeah.
Yeah, when he saves Cougar, he's like, "Hey,
Yeah. I fucking told you to land. Like what the fuck?
Right.
Yeah,
Mhm.
yeah.
Right. So,
Yeah, no, it's absolutely, and it's one of the core tenets. It's one of the reasons the military works at all. Is it's drilled into soldiers that you follow orders. Follow orders. You do not deviate from your orders. You follow your fucking orders. And so he gets punished for it, and Hendrik washes out anyway because he just couldn't handle it. And he's like, everybody's trying to be chill about it, and he's like, "Y'all suck. I'm out of here. Fuck you."
Right.
Basically, it. All right, he's like, "Don't do that. It's fucking weird." And
It's like the short version.
so then episode 3, and I do like that each episode is named for a character who's sort of like
Mhm.
the point of the episode kind of thing. So episode 3 is named as Maria, and this is the Johnny is still in boot camp, but now he's on the moon episode. He's
Maria would have
waiting.
been his mom.
Yeah.
Maria's his mom, yeah. So,
Okay.
which is of course the big reveal in this episode. So Johnny is waiting to go to the moon, and he sees Carmen, who's sporting just a wonderful haircut, and
Yeah, and she looks like she's in her 40s.
Would just makes her eyes even
Just-
more.
glisten.
That's what happens when you get a facelift at 19.
He sees her, and this is sort of like this thing, these passing glances that these characters share a bunch. But this is one of those moments, and you're just like, okay. And everybody starts giving him shit in his platoon. They all start giving him shit about it. It's kind of fun. So they go to the moon. The only note I have about the moon stuff is, well, I have a couple, but the one that really had me is Corporal Claire. Her scowl is fucking amazing. With the ginger fro, she's just like, she had the animated her scowl.
She had the
so
duck lips.
It was so good. It was so good. I was just
She
like,
was
damn,
mean looking though.
I can feel the animosity coming off of this chick.
Right?
It's amazing.
I've never seen somebody scowl with duck lips before.
That
but
was it was so
she
good.
pulled
She
it
just
off.
disgust. Like,
Mhm.
she was just so.
It's like, you know
I-
exactly how
mm.
she felt.
And it didn't matter that the other who was it that was was it Smith or Greg? One of the two was like, "Hey, by the way, I'm," and she's like, "I don't fucking." She just
Yeah,
did
I
not.
don't care.
It's like, I'm
don't
related
care.
to you. She's like, I don't fucking care. It was pretty fun.
Because which is also something else that you
Yeah.
touched upon.
Yeah,
Like, is the multi-generational military man.
absolutely. That's who he
You know.
was, without a doubt.
And thought that was going to get some type of
Yeah, like
Sometimes it's
anything,
Her
added.
comeback.
nothing.
Her comeback is you better not suck ass. It'll disappoint your father. Basically,
Which is
like
absolutely,
she was not
absolutely
impressed at all. She just went, well, I hope you don't suck ass. It'll disappoint your father, and then turns around and walks away. I was like,
that
I
shit
wanted
was
to pick up his pride and
so
give it back
funny.
to him. I don't think he
Man.
dropped this.
how
Yeah,
something
that's
else.
a good point, Linda. I think that's
Yeah.
the every place is this. If that's one thing boot camp is supposed to do. It takes away your previous definition of pride
Yeah,
and it
Yeah.
instills into a different one about what it means, and they do a great job. So that's a good point.
they do. That's again. There's so much about this that they get right in the sense of that world. It's just
Mhm.
my main critique is like, why did you do that when you had all this other shit you could have talked about? Nevertheless, so it feels like they did 6 episodes about the first chapter. Like, that's what it feels like. So
right.
anyway, so the power armor's still hard to use. They're trying to like navigate the moon, and they're face planting, and they suck, and it's whatever. But then later on in the day, Carmencita's at the mall, and Johnny and his boys run into her, and he decides this is a good opportunity for him to ask for a photo because all his boys have photos, and he wants to get a photo. and his buddy Pat just has the worst timing in the world. But he's so nonchalant about it too, because like, hey, did you get that naked picture? And then he looks, yeah, I'm gonna go. So be over here. Don't be late. Just like,
Can I say it's highly possible that in our youth, if we had all went to the military, that could have been a scenario that played out in real life. I would have whipped
absolutely.
y'all fucking ass. Oh my! I would have broke my foot off in y'all asses so hard.
she
we
smacks
would've
that
deserved it.
boy with thunder.
Oh, it resonates.
She
Righteous
gives him a piece of
indignation.
it. Oh my god!
And it was the first time we saw that her eyes actually have another level
A different
of,
setting.
of
Yeah.
fear. Fear, yeah.
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 That's fucking crazy. Yeah, so she slaps the living shit out of him. And but then she's walking away, and my note is that so she's walking away, and he stops, and he's like, was he pulling at his hair or whatever? And he's like, this feels familiar. And I'm like, bro, are you thinking about your mom right now? Because that's just weirder. Because that's what he was doing. He was thinking about when his mom slapped him and walked away, and he was like reliving that moment. So that it was very weird. He's like, this feels familiar. I'm like, dude, don't think of your mom while the girl you want to bang is walking away. That's a weird. You just don't do that.
That's a little bit Oedipus.
It's a little weird. So they're back in the moon doing more moon shit, and Johnny blows up what they call the prairie dog gun turret, which excellent name, by the way. I really
So
appreciated that.
he finds out that his mother has passed now.
He finds out that his mother has passed after the prairie dog thing. So they do the
No,
prairie dog.
It's before.
No, it's after because they fuck up later. So they do the prairie dog. Everybody's celebrating. They're like, dude, you got one. He's like, yeah, but I got shot like 185 fucking times. And then
Right,
mail
right, right.
call. Then the mail call happens, and they all get their mail.
You're
and
right.
He's like,
You're right.
everybody's celebrating him and whatever, and he reads the mail, and he's like, fuck, and he fucks off. And he's, forlorn.
Can I just, their technology is so advanced, but they still send letters.
Paper letters.
I feel like,
Paper letters.
They've got interstellar travel.
yeah.
Mhm.
And
Holodecks, the whole
paper
They
mail.
still send
yeah.
Tegami. That's
I-
all. It's still right.
I feel like that's obviously a conscious choice, and I think that has to do
Mhm.
again with the whole idea that the author was probably trying to portray boot camp military life in a science fiction sort of setting kind of thing. So I feel like it was intentional, but definitely a throwback to like the old World War II, Vietnam.
Right.
I got a girl. But yeah, that was something. It was very funny. It was like holo messages, video. Like, does nobody just Snapchat like fucking anything?
You can tell what Verhoeven said. We're not doing that shit. We're gonna
video. We're doing video.
yeah. You can tell.
Yeah.
Would you like to know more?
Would you like to know more? So Johnny finds out his mom dies. He's off his game, and they go back out to do another mission, and he's totally off his game, and he fucks up, and his whole team loses, and they don't take that well. So he gets hit again a couple times.
It's a lot.
Can't. And that's kind of where it ends. Is like him, like
coming to terms with it,
grieving and coming to terms with the fact that he's, failed again.
And so far, Johnny has been hit at least once every episode.
So far, yes. So now we're in episode 4, which is I didn't write the name of the episode, but
Greg.
it's Johnny's still in boot camp, but he's on Mars. Greg? It's Greg.
Greg.
Right.
So yeah, Johnny gets to go to Mars now. Johnny's on Mars because training on the moon wasn't enough. We're also going to go to Mars. So they fly them all the fuck the way to Mars.
I would like to say they do an interesting thing with the red shirt concept here.
Or go ahead.
If your name's in the episode,
Something
bad is going to happen to you.
Something bad. Yeah. So it's interesting because this episode starts with so the aliens have only really been shown like 2 times. They're shown at the very beginning during the epic space battle thing with the power armor that looks suspiciously like the Maddox one, and then they show that then they show them again sort of at the airport assault. So
Right.
now you see them in their bubble form. So this is when they're a gas, or whatever it is. Their little bubble form, like they blow bubbles, right? And they just kind of bubble and they float past the radar to go to.
We're just
to
supposed
Mars.
to be able to detect them.
That's what's for. But if you're in gas form, see, I think that's the thing. See, they weren't in liquid state and they weren't in solid state. They had switched to gaseous state, and that's why they couldn't be detected.
Can there actually be a gaseous state?
Did they say they were gaseous? Because I just assumed they were spores.
No, it's just what I'm pulling this
Okay.
shit out of my ass.
They're
They're bubble
Klingon.
gum. Somebody blew bubbles. They got bubblicious. They blew some bubbles. Just sent
something simple as AIDS radar.
Honestly,
So-
you're giving it. You're like think gumball with the beak.
But it's all well. That's later. Like these first bubbles are just fucking bubbles. It looks like
Yeah.
it
And when
looks like a
they stick.
bowel, like pink bowel floating through space.
Like if you have Pepto-Bismol in zero atmosphere, zero gravity.
That's it. That's
Yep.
what this looked like. So they float to Mars. So on the same time, Johnny and his team are going to Mars to train. The aliens kill everybody at the base, and
Everybody.
brutally, slicing them in half. Like it's pretty brutal. Like, for 80s anime, it's not Wicked City bad, but it's rough. And then they're there for a training mission, which is it's just basically capture the flag. So they're there to play capture the flag. Couldn't do that on the moon. Had to fly them into Mars. Need a 6-month trip for that. So they're playing capture the flag, and they run out of shit, and they're like, "Well, let's go restock. We're gonna go to the base that nobody's heard from anybody at." And
Now, mind you, they're
Yeah.
playing with dummy ammo.
yeah, they
Right.
are not packing. So they go here and they find the base decimated. They find everybody, murdered, slaughtered, chopped
Even
up,
though
whatever.
Zim is
In
already
multiple parts.
Zim knows.
Zim
Zim knows
knows
this
this
shit's
not-
going down. This is not good.
Yep.
So they get there and he's like, "So, what do you guys see?" Like,
Right.
Game over, man. They're all fucking dead. So like, get out of there. And yeah, so then the aliens, they spring their trap, which was kind of the aliens laid a trap for us. I was like, oh, okay, all right, I see what you're doing.
Mhm.
Oh, wait,
So they laid a trap.
they
for
wanted
them.
video, video proof
They-
they were there.
Yeah. So this is send them in with no fucking ammo. Zim, you bastard. So
Like, just get something to prove so we can tell the boss, hey.
he tells them all to fuck off.
No, it wasn't Zim that did it. It was the
Right.
commander.
The commander's
He was
like, we are
like,
going as ordered. And Zim's like, no, dude, what are you talking about? And so it is a
Doesn't he
character
say-
moment for him. It is a
Doesn't
character
he say
moment for him.
Colin back up?
Right.
And the guy goes, "That's not what we do." And
Not
then he
what we
gives you
do.
like a look of death.
Yeah.
Like you will do
this-
this or
this
you will
is-
die.
This is a bit of a character moment for Zim. I was impressed by it.
Mhm.
So they go and Greg and Smith and Johnny are there and shit goes sideways and Johnny's finna die by either tentacle porn or being cut in half or blasted in the face. He's gonna get blasted in the face by
Mhm.
bubblegum. And Greg saves his ass, but then Greg gets cut in half. And Johnny's not real happy about that. But they escape because some soldiers show up, save his ass. But then they go and they confront Zim. And they're like, what do you mean he doesn't get a fucking military funeral? He deserves a fucking medal. He saved Johnny. And I think it was Smith. That's like, it's because he didn't follow orders, is it? And Zim don't say shit. He's just like, nodding. Like, doesn't even move his head, but everybody knows that's what it is. But then he says, but you didn't follow orders either. He goes out Zim. And Zim's just like, get his shit and get out. Like he was just not having it.
And this entire time you find out that Greg has a Carmencita at home
Yep.
that is waiting for him.
Yeah.
And
That one fucks up Johnny good. Johnny goes through his stuff and he finds a letter and he reads this letter from Laura, who is Greg's Carmencita, and it shakes him to his core. It really does, because it's terrible. But yeah, that's the whole episode. So it sucks. So yeah, you don't want your name on a title card for this show, that's for sure.
nah.
Well, Johnny's response when Greg gets cut in half is, "What are you doing? Come
Yeah.
on, let's go." And I'm just like, "You okay?"
He's gonna need a little help there.
It's just a scratch.
yeah.
Come on, let's go.
So episode
I ain't got time to
5.
bleed.
Episode 5 is Sharenkov. And hey, Sharenkov actually lives, so we gotta give him credit there. Sharenkov. So this episode is Johnny gets in a fight with the Navy. That's basically the whole thing that happens in this episode. He finishes boot camp.
He finished the boot camp.
He finishes boot camp. I mean, yeah, he finishes boot camp. He goes to visit his mom's grave. His dad's like, your mom wouldn't want you to avenge her. She'd want you safe. She'd want you home. She wouldn't want you to do this. And Johnny's fighting with the soldier side of himself, the person he's becoming versus the person who he was. And now he, he feels a sense of duty to stop this from happening, not just, for his family, but to anybody. And then there's the conflict in this, the flip side of the coin, which I as a narrative, what this anime is talking about is all relevant shit. It's just, you picked
It's
the most-
timeless.
yeah. So Johnny and Smith go drinking. They're out drinking.
Johnny and Smith go to find Laura to let Laura know that Greg has
Not
died.
Coming home.
And they
And
catch up at her wedding.
they're expecting that she's going to be bereaved.
That was so messed up. I was like,
Yeah. Which kind of sheds a whole another layer onto the complexities of relationships and soldiers in wartime and all this shit. I'm telling you, it's got a lot to say. It just, that's what they chose to say with this story is
with
the most
Starship
impressive.
Troopers.
Right.
You
That's
could've-
what they
you-
chose.
Right. You could have did this shit with like
You could have done this with With any other military, you could have done it with a Gundam. There's 8 million Gundams.
Yes.
You could have done a whole Gundam and had it just been this, and you'd have been fine. But they
Had they
chose.
read letters from Iwo Jima.
That's my thing. I'm like, oh, this is the story you chose to tell this narrative. So anyway,
A starship.
they do
Troopers.
not. They do not find Laura in the state that they thought they would. So they go drinking. They go to celebrate. They go to drink because they're not feeling the love right now, and it just kind of continues because a bunch of assholes come into the bar and they start raising hell, and they give these guys no respect whatsoever, and that's just par for the course, right? Like that's just more of the same shit. That's definitely more specific towards, I want to say, like the Vietnam, Korean War era,
Vietnam, yeah.
where soldiers were not treated in a positive light. And that's definitely what this segment is. This whole episode is kind of a nod to, that they're treated like third-class citizens when these are the guys out there fighting for it. And they get into a bar fight over the continued disrespect. And then, of course, they're the ones that are in trouble for it. Police show up. They're the ones that are in trouble for it. It's that's
It's
the whole
the first time we see them fight with fucking ability.
Yeah,
well.
right. It's the first day. It's like,
And
Rico
Johnny didn't lose.
That's it. Rico didn't get his ass kicked for the first
Right,
time.
right,
He made
right.
it out.
Like, have y'all met Zen?
Yeah. So yeah, it's, again, I appreciate what they're trying to say. I just wish they would have picked a different story to tell it with. So they get in a bar fight, and then they're deployed. Basically, they got to go to the space station, and they got to get on their ship, and they're assigned a unit. They're assigned to Wiley's Wildcats. They're very happy about it. And then they're assigned to a ship, the Roger Young, the name of their ship is. And then so they're walking the halls of the space station. They're looking at the ship being prepared, and they get shit from the crew. And you're supposed to be here, like, we're just looking at the ship. You can look at it plenty when you're on it, fuckers. Like this, basically. It was
Right.
great. So
Which is actually a true
Yeah.
type thing. Like,
I-
this is considered the Marines.
yeah,
Well, not Space
Yeah.
Marines, but
yeah,
the
they're-
Marines versus the Navy.
yeah,
You know, the Navy
Yeah.
was like, don't touch my shit. Don't look at my shit.
yeah. That's absolutely.
You go to where
That's-
you're supposed to be. The fucking
They-
is a real. Yeah.
They handle that well. They handle that camaraderie / rivalry of Navy versus Marine versus Army. Like, they handled that. They show it in this episode. It's fucking hilarious. But it's just, it's very well done in that sense. So then he's in the hallway with his boys, and Carmencita comes out of a door, and she sees him. And they lock eyes. How can you not? She's all eyes. So he locks eyes.
It's her specialty.
And for the first time, I think, in Carmencita's life, Johnny Rico is not dumbfounded and smitten. He's, hey, what's up? Sorry about before. I'll see you later. And he takes his boys and he leaves. And there's this almost look of disdain on Carmen's face. Like, the fuck? Why aren't you fawning? Like, what the hell? You know, like, she was almost taken aback by it. It was very interesting. Oh, and then they have this absolutely pointless scene, by the way, where Cherenkov gets in trouble for taking a leak. I don't even know.
I don't know why it was there. It was very
whatever.
weird.
Well,
Maybe-
because apparently Cherenkov is packing.
Yeah, apparently. Apparently.
Cherenkov has a Zangief. And
Anyway, it was a scene that just made it was sort of pointless, but it's all this build up to this character, Cherenkov, who's this big bearded, dude, and you're just like, wow. And then the payoff on it is fucking hilarious, by the way. So they go to the bar. They're in the mess. It looks like they're in the mess, but I think it's a bar. They're in the space station.
it's a bar on. Think of it as the MCO club.
There
on
you go.
board.
That's a great way to look at it. So they're there, and it's not their house. Like, they're in somebody else's house right now. This is a naval base. Like, they're, so they're there talking shit. And which, by the way, the naval uniforms in this cartoon are fucking dumb. But it's just no offense to our naval brethren have fantastic uniforms. These look stupid. So so
I get it. You know,
they did. They
It was
looked
like a cross between like Russian sailors and Donald Duck.
it looked like they were looking for berries and cream, and they couldn't find it. They were little lads who loved berries and cream. They just couldn't find their berries and cream.
Sound of Music, really,
Yeah.
motherfucker.
Seriously. So they're talking. The boys are talking shit, and the Navy don't like that
Loudly.
much. Loudly, very disrespectful, and the Navy don't like
Okay.
that much.
So before they got this, we
Yeah.
gotta give them the payoff. We gotta give them the payoff.
Okay.
As they're heading to the bar,
Yeah.
they're walking, and Rico sees Carmencita one more time.
Right.
And
That's right. Yeah. They're passing in the hallway, and
they're passing the
Carmencita,
hallway.
she hands him an envelope as they're passing by, like two ships
Right.
passing in the night. Here's a letter. Can I keep going? That's right. So then Johnny's like, I gotta take a piss, which is code for I really got to read what the fuck's in this letter, and I don't want to do it in front of y'all because you'll never let me live it down. So he leaves.
Right.
So now he's gone. Everybody else is there. The rest of his unit, the Wiley's Wildcats.
He's
And
trash talking and everything.
they're trash talking, being very disrespectful. Navy boys didn't like that much, so they're gonna start some shit. So Rico, he's reading his letter, and it's a letter from Carmen, and now there's a photo in it, which is what he had been asking for, and he's so fucking over the moon over this photo. But then he goes back, and the boys are all facing off. And this is Wiley's Wildcats and this naval crew, and Sharenikov like walks up, the Navy guy, whack, hits him right square in the face, and Sharenikov, who's like 7 feet tall,
Crumbles.
goes down like a sack of
Down
fucking
goes
bricks.
bricks.
Just
Down goes
Oh my
boom,
gosh.
timber. He's out. The rest of the fight, he's done.
Thought he could be intimidating, and the dude just punched him.
Took him. It was the best slice of humble pie I've ever seen delivered. To just laid him out. Oh, so the rest of the boys, they all get into a brawl. Big old bar brawl. And the bar fight ends in camaraderie, which is kind of just funny. The next day, the boys are shipping out.
That
They're
could
on the
go
way out to the
either
ship.
way. That could
It
go
really,
either way.
absolutely, absolutely. So they're shipping out, and then they, the Navy boys, they come out and they send them off. Yeah, next time we'll buy you a drink. Nah, we'll buy the second round, kind of thing. It's camaraderie. They get on the
Well,
ship.
everyone's banded up and everything.
Yeah, they all look like shit. Like they all been beat, which I appreciate that they kept that continuity. So they're getting on the ship, they're getting ready to deploy, and then they get a news alert that the ship that Carmen was stationed on, the Saratoga, has been destroyed. So this episode probably should have been called Carmen, because this is the point where she did. So
They gave it everything you needed to know. It needed to be Sharenikov because Sharenikov had the biggest L.
he did. He did. He really did. He did not. He was not happy about it. So the ship. That's basically the end of the episode. Is Johnny Rico finding that Carmen's ship has been destroyed.
So again, he's been losing this entire time. He has dealt with so much, and that's the thing when you're looking at when we're talking about just the sense of loss that you can experience while you're in the military.
Yeah.
It could be just this back to back to back to back to back to back, and you're still expected to function.
Yeah.
At professional levels.
Yep. Yeah.
Nobody gave.
it's a
Your
lot.
girlfriend died.
Yeah.
Come on, we gotta go.
Yeah. It's like she died a soldier. Soldier, get to work. It's shit. It's unfortunate. So episode 6 is Johnny finally goes to war. It starts with Carmencita's dead, and then it shows, which is just fucking hell. All right, look. I get that this is supposed to be like a story about war and the cost of it and all that shit, but look, space, I don't know if y'all know this, but space is really, really
Vast.
fucking big.
Right?
Like it's massively big.
Incomprehensibly big.
So for what had happened to the Saratoga to have happened involved a level of stupidity that I cannot calculate. A vast level. Because the Saratoga, they show the end of the Saratoga at the beginning of this episode. And the Saratoga flies headfirst into a giant floating bubble of
Giant
massive
bubble pod.
bubble gum. Just chewed up bubble yum floating in space. And they flew directly into it. In space.
They could have gone up, down, left, right, diagonal,
You just
gone in reverse.
Z-index, any vast spaces, enormous. And this bubble yum thing was not that big. I mean, it was bigger than the ship, but not so big that you couldn't
see
Avoid
it
it.
coming.
It's not like there's any physical resistance. There's no friction to cause a problem. If you're going straight and you want to go up, you thrust down, your ship goes up. There's nothing stopping you from maneuvering
Around it?
and spaces. It's not like the bubble yum just showed up, right? Like, it's space. You can see shit coming light years away. We know where Voyager 1 is, and it left the fucking solar system. Like, you should be able to see the bubble yum coming. And they flew straight into it.
Somebody had the blinds down.
Someone fell asleep. And by someone, I mean the pilot, the guy on radar, everyone on the
Everybody.
bridge.
I understand a lot of things about, like, what they're trying to tell with the story and the core of it and the idea of military life and all that. But that is the dumbest way for an entire battleship to be lost in the vast, empty void of space. They flew into bubblegum.
Look, you are right in that it's stupid, but they all can't be W's, man.
Right, but whenever you need a giant L, you had Johnny Rico.
Well, look, you think Johnny was the only loser in this bitch? Look,
Good
Look,
Lord.
what you're talking about is what would have happened later during, like, Congress trying to figure out what the fuck happened. If what you're saying is why they have debriefs and how can we avoid this? Is it possible? Look, is it possible for the level of stupidity to exist in the
Maybe-
cosmos in this one collective space to make sure
Maybe
this
they
doesn't
forgot
happen
they were in
again?
space.
Yeah.
Maybe they
If-
forgot they were in space. They thought they were still at sea.
Yeah, like they're
and we're
staring
like,
at
"We
the
can't
bubble
go
yum going,
up."
guys, we're headed straight for it. Do we have time to turn? I don't think so. Just
Like, I mean, look,
God.
this is why we have Congress and we have appropriations and we have whole hearings for this.
This happened under Hegseth's watch. That's what I'm saying right now. That's
Look,
what happened.
look,
That's
look, we
this is what-
definitely, again, we definitely watched this under Hextech's watch. So it's highly possible for me, like, oh my gosh, is it possible for this level of stupidity to exist? Yeah.
Fucking hell.
Yeah, but this is
I
on the
just-
level of, like, what is it, like 2 movies I've done it so far, where you got a guy screaming and you see a guy on a Zamboni. Then the next thing you see is that, there's still Marina away and the guy just sits there and here comes the Zamboni. Here it comes, and runs him over. And it's like, you had
In
you had
15 minutes.
time.
Look,
That's what that entire sequence with the Saratoga, that was the equivalent.
It pissed me off. It pissed me off so
It's
much. 'Cause I'm
good,
just
and
like, you
again,
can't.
every emotion that you are feeling is correct. You are asking all the right questions.
They did so well, Brian. They did great with the power suits not working and that being hard to use.
Dude,
They
dude,
did the-
again, this is a scenario that could readily happen. Hell, we lost 2 fucking planes because somebody didn't strap it down. And that
And
was this fucking year.
fucking hell. So
Yeah,
the Saratoga flies into the bubble gum and is
Stupidly,
lost.
you can go ahead and say stupidly flies into it.
You know what? I'm just gonna blame Carmen. She should have saw it coming.
Seriously, Carmen sees all. So
Because-
they
All while getting points, but she couldn't blink. Did you imagine that this may be the one time she was trying to put some
Just-
drops in her eyes?
it's just so
It takes her
anyway.
like 20 minutes to blink, and there you go.
They use this as their rallying cry to do an assault on the planet where the aliens
Plandathu.
are holed up.
Plandathu.
Plandathu.
And they do a great job of, I love, like, the Saratoga
Yeah.
is actually in the movie.
Yeah.
So Johnny Rogers is actually in the movie.
Yeah.
I'm really happy with the amount of continuity they had throughout this entire thing.
Agreed. And I really enjoyed the Normandy-like assault with the drop ships and all that shit. All that shit is really cool. So they're going through that whole thing where they're trying to break into the planet, and it's an all-out assault, and there's a lot of fucking aliens. A lot of aliens, and I appreciated that they showed the scope of that. And it's very well done. The sequence is very well done. It's intense. There's a lot going on. The soldiers are getting their bearings. Sharenkov goes fucking ape shit. He's like two-gunning it, like, like it's everybody's gung ho. Sergeant Dan is their leader of
Not Lieutenant Dan, not to be confused with Lieutenant
not to be
Dan.
confused. Yes, not to be confused with Lieutenant Dan. Sergeant Dan is in charge of Wiley's Wildcats, and he's like calling out orders, and he's gung ho too. He goes ape shit. Then they got like a weird bird bubblegum hybrid fighter thing that they're like shooting down. And they're like, is that a jet? It's like, it looks like a fucking bubblegum bird to me, but whatever, let's call it a jet.
I was
So-
actually thinking Cobra La.
Yeah.
Right?
There you go. A lot of that vibe for sure. Then they take out the bird jet, Cobra Law bubblegum thing, and Azuma finds God in the middle of the fight.
Yeah,
It's like, this has feelings. It's just protecting itself, just like we are. What the fuck did you think you were fighting? Did you think this was Plants versus Zombies? Like, what do you do?
Poor Johnny's
Duh.
all confused. Aren't you? What's happening? What's going on?
Yeah, it's just duh. Anyway, so it's shit's not. It's going sideways. There's lots of problems, and then all of a sudden, it's like this whole Johnny's laid out from an explosion because the bird bubblegum plane thing explodes, and Johnny's laid out, and he's like, "Why do I fight?" He's having his "Why do I fight?" flashback, where he's like trying to find his motivation to survive, kind of thing, and imagining all the epic things that happened in the last 5 episodes, and he decides he's gonna fight to live, basically. And so it's a really cool action sequence. I give him credit. There's a lot of really cool things that happen in it, and the
montage of all the slaps that he has experienced this entire time.
Yeah. And Sergeant Dan's like, I get paid more than you. I'm earning my... And he like goes all out, and he's like blowing up the thing. It's neat. It's a very cool action sequence. It sucks. It's the only one in the whole fucking movie. Whole fucking series.
No, we waited for so long for the bug fight. And
I
was like,
really liked it. I just would have liked more of that.
Right?
Just really could have used a lot more of that. But yeah, so he's obviously he's been injured. He got a head injury in this fight, and he after the battle, it cuts to them all in like a sick bay, medical bay sort of setting. They're all being treated, and Johnny receives notice from a nurse who looks a lot like Carmen to me. When she showed up at first, I was like, "Oh, it's Carmen."
oh,
Wait,
no.
no, that's not Carmen.
Her eyes
That
were
was
she's
big
like-
enough.
Rosita. That was Rosita.
That's his sister. So she says that he needs to go up to this deck or wherever to go. So he's like, all right, fine. So he takes his broken ass and he's limping over there to go, and he gets up to the deck, and he sees that Carmencita is alive. Pika gasp. She's there.
Sucker.
She's-
She's...
Got a head injury too, and she's so Johnny he's limping until he's suddenly not limping, and he tosses his crutch like he's all officer and a gentleman and shit, and he like stumbles over himself, and she helps him up, whatever, and Johnny's about to confess his love to her. He's like, "This was something I've been needing to tell you for a long time," and she's in tears, like they've had this deep, meaningful relationship for the last 5 episodes, and he's like, he taps his forehead, and the episode ends.
yes. I was still trying to figure out how she got out of that exploding ship with just a head wound, but
I think we need to go back to the Saratoga.
Do we? Do we need to?
I think the tapping on the head is probably asking where her brain went on the Saratoga. It's like,
I really genuinely, I Googled it. I could not figure it out. I was like, what is he referencing something that maybe I missed? And I was wondering if maybe you guys caught it or something. Like there's something with his forehead that,
It was probably like, is that a
So-
bandage on your head?
like, I don't
Yeah.
know what that was. Like if it
you
was
got
supposed
something on your face.
it was so weird. He's just like, just something I've been wanting to tell you. And episode end credits. This is the end. And I was just really like, how did you not stick that landing? Like you finally had what I consider a good episode. Like it was,
Mm-hmm. He drops the ball at the end like he did in the first episode.
Because this was not Johnny and Carmencita Troopers. It was Starship Troopers.
Yeah, and plus
We
the
ain't
name of the
got
episode was
time.
Carmencita. It wasn't Carmencita and Johnny.
guys, all right. It was a very weird way to end this. And it was for an otherwise action-packed episode that was very much in the heart of the Starship Troopers, the story, and then it was by all accounts it was good up until that part. I was kind of like, that's it? That's where you end? That is some 80s anime ending shit right there. That's what that
Mhm.
is. So,
It's right there with like the Pirates of Darkwater, where it's like the end.
right?
It's like, but
Yes.
there's so much more story.
But like, what are you talking about? I have a couple musings for you guys. The director, Tetsuya Amino, he directed Macross 7, The Galaxy is Calling Me, and Macross Dynamite 7. Katsutaka Miyatake, the guy who designed the titular SDF-1 Macross, the Orgus, and the Gunbuster, designed the power armors for this anime. Akira Kamiya, the actor who played Roy Fokker, he was Zim. He was the voice of Zim in this anime. And Sho Hayami, Max Genius himself, he played Pat Levy, the guy with the big nose girlfriend. He played him. And I break this up because once again, everything is Macross. Just
Not wrong.
there you go.
Hey, save it for your next panel.
As soon as I started going through the credit roll on this, I'm like, motherfucker, everything is fucking Macross. So yeah, that's that, man. That was Starship Troopers, the 6 episodes. We should get into it though. Who wants to go first? Who wants to final thought this first? Vic, you want to go first this time?
Sure, I'll go first.
Go for it. Lay it on me, man.
So, obviously, it's an 80s animated OAV, which with not a huge budget,
Indeed.
right? Obvious given. By itself, I don't think it's worth the watch, but as a companion piece to the later movies, I actually do think it's worth the watch. Because the Verhoeven movie,
Yeah.
it glossed over everything. It's like, okay, you see Johnny in the football game, and then next he's signing up, next he's,
The whole
training
that,
is
this,
fairly, it's
Yeah.
like the first 6 episodes, it's like the first
20 minutes of
not
this,
even
of
the
the
first,
movie.
it's like the first third of the movie.
Yeah. I agree.
So, so you get a lot of more backstory on Johnny himself. It's like everyone else.
Yeah.
Like you mentioned earlier, I read also that apparently that this series is probably more accurate to the book as opposed to the movie.
Yeah. That's what
Which is fine
I'd read
too.
that. Yeah, it was great.
I noticed, bugs didn't look like bugs. They looked totally
They were
not
not-
like bugs.
They were not, yeah, they were,
But
they
on
were-
a slight
yeah.
on a slight detour on that, 10 plus years later, there was a series. It started off as a pervy PC game, but then became like a legitimate visual novel series as well as anime. It's Muv. I'm not sure how to pronounce it. If it's Move Love, whatever. But the bugs from this Starship Troopers look a lot like the aliens, which are called Beta in that series. In the way they look, the way they move, even the way they fire, and how their attack is more like a
Plasma.
plasma type thing.
Yeah.
So I'm wondering if the series creator for that got their inspiration from this. But yeah, like I said, it wasn't bad. It was a bit drawn out.
Yeah.
And like I said, as a companion piece to the actual movie and the follow-ups, I think it's worth it. By itself, if you have no intention of watching any of the other movies, then it's not. Plain simple. I
Cool.
enjoyed it, but I
No,
also
I-
enjoyed the movies.
Yeah, I think of the four of us, you've been exposed to more of the media than I have, right? I've seen the movie and I've now watched this. And I think I may have watched like one of the sequels that had come out.
I would hope so. It was from our buddy Shinji Aramaki.
Yeah, exactly. But yeah, you've watched way more of this media than. So I was very interested to hear your opinion on it because it is such a, I don't want to say it's a dramatic departure from the tone of the Verhoeven stuff, but it really is.
Yeah, I kind of wish the Verhoeven movie had powered suits.
Yeah, really would have been cool. I agree. All right, cool. Well, thank you for that. Lynette, would you like to go next?
Sure.
What do you think about it?
I thought it was a fun watch.
Yeah.
Although I watched the live Starship Troopers movie first before this one, of course.
Yeah.
So I was
Yeah.
expecting a lot of violence, gore, guts, all that stuff, all the fun stuff that you get to watch,
Yeah.
And when you didn't get it, I was like, huh. And then it was like day 2 of boot camp, day 3 of boot camp,
Yeah.
day 4, and I'm like, okay. But I liked watching the part where they're training because they shoot them out of the big old towers
Yeah.
and tell them to
Yeah.
land right, so you get to see how they're learning. But I think the power suits would have been really cool in the live action. I just don't think they could have done it without looking like Sigourney Weaver and Aliens.
It would have
But
looked a
yeah,
little
not in
hokey, I think.
97.
Yeah, it definitely would have looked hokey. I think it was a smart choice not to do it, knowing that
Mhm.
he couldn't have pulled it off. I mean, to be fair
Yeah.
though, RoboCop came out in the 80s, and I mean,
Yeah, they would have looked like Ed 209.
it would have looked like a bunch of Ed 209.
Yeah, it would have been a
Johnny
lot of
Rico.
stop motion.
Nevertheless. So yeah.
Yep.
Okay.
So I agree. Watch it as a companion, but
Yeah.
if you don't like the movies, you probably
Yeah.
won't like this. I don't know.
All right. Thank you. All right, Brian. Let's have it, man. This movie is it's an onion. It's got layers.
Yes.
So let's hear about some of the layers, man. Tell me your thoughts.
As a veteran, I found myself nostalgia for a lot of the things that they were doing in here. A
Sure.
lot of the boot camp, the lessons you learned in boot camp was there. There's even the whole nod to why you fight or why you or where you get that burst of different from heroism.
Right.
Heroism is an act of bravery for somebody else.
Right.
This was just actually self-preservation and self-bravery. I love the fact that they did that for that.
And I like that they
Uh,
showed the difference. Not to cut you off, but
Right.
I like that they showed the difference. They showed Johnny being heroic,
Right.
but then this was a different call to action for him. This is a different
Right.
motivation.
Right. So I wish people would understand when you're in the military, you have subconsciously decided that I can go to work and I could die that day, and I'm supposed to be okay with it, right? But at some point in time, you actually have to not just make that deal with the country, you have to make that deal with yourself, and this does a great job of illustrating how you can go from mild-mannered to I'm going to have these moments of bravery, and then from there. And even the payoff of it. Some days you get the bravery, and it still doesn't matter. You can still lose something. That's great. Animation for an 80s film, really great. I really did love the music. I actually found myself wanting to download the soundtrack.
Yeah.
I don't know what the fuck the seagull had to do with anything.
That seagull was very important to the opening and closing credits.
It was a thing.
That's me. And then apparently the seagull was supposed to be in Carmencita.
Which is just a whole other level.
Oh,
a whole other. There's some
right.
therapy
So
that we had.
I think that if you want to know what my thoughts are,
Roll credits.
There you go. Thank
Was
you.
it
For our listeners, that was the longest Zim stare we'd been given. Brian, I echo your thoughts on this. So I was conflicted this entire anime, 6 episodes of it, and I watched it, and the first thing that landed with me was as a person who is related to and friends with very many soldiers, I found myself relating to the stories and the narratives and the idea of the military life and the promises that you make and the oaths you keep and the whole camaraderie of it. All of that hit with me. It resonated with me in a way that I was not expecting from a Starship Troopers anime. And then the other side of it was like, but this is a Starship Troopers anime.
Troopers.
What are you
I-
fucking doing?
I completely agree with you.
And
I
that's
completely agree.
and that's where I was conflicted on it, because I don't mind this as a narrative device. I think that is a story that's worth telling. I think it's a very interesting story. I think that it's important for people to know. I don't know that this medium and this subject matter was the platform for which you want to tell that story. I don't think that that's going to land the way it should. And I think that hurt it more than anything. I was engaged with it, but because of
You're waiting.
because of my proximity to that life. I was engaged with the idea, with the boot camp story, with the story of these soldiers, with Hendrik washing out, with Greg buying it in a training mission and not getting a military funeral, with all of this shit that happened, all of the L's, all of that. I was engaged with it. But in the back of my head, the whole time I'm going, yeah, but at some point we're going to do some Starship Trooper stuff, right? Like this is going to be Starship Troopery here any minute now. Any minute now, we're going to do some Starship Troopers. And we didn't get Starship Trooper stuff until way late into this. So my confliction is that as a animated narrative about being a soldier, what it means to be a soldier, what it means to take that oath and to decide to go through that, and to the early stages of it, the boot camp stages of it, and all of that, it's great, but I don't feel like that's the audience that they were aiming for. Like it's
Definitely not.
and that
Definitely.
if they wanted to tell that story, they needed to pick a different product, because I don't think Starship Troopers was the product for it. Maybe that's just because I've gotten the Verhoeven films, but if I would have maybe seen this in the 80s when it came out, it might have hit different, you know? But I think the only way to watch this is what Vic and Lynette said, which is as a companion to the movies, as like an EU of the movies. And if you watch it like that, as a modern audience, if you watch it like that, I think you can have some fun. I think you can get a lot out of it. I think you can be entertained by it. I think you'll enjoy yourself. I think this is a great anime maybe for people who are in the military, for veterans. This is probably a great anime to feel a sense of that nostalgic camaraderie that maybe you have, even if you haven't seen the Verhoeven films. I think if you haven't seen the Verhoeven films and you're in the military, this is probably a great anime for you. Probably is. I mean, I'm not saying it's a great anime. I'm just saying it's a great anime for you to watch. Like, there's a lot you can get out of it. If you are not in the military, then you probably should watch the Verhoeven films before you watch this. Because I
Can
think that you're
I-
gonna. No, please. It's please help me land my thought.
There was one concept that I really enjoyed about the Verhoeven films, and it was the definition of civilian versus citizen. Right?
Yeah, the Verhoeven films, they're supposed to be like an allegory for the Nazis, for like ultra militarism, for like that's the whole point of it. It's supposed to be like the extreme. This is like military state. This is like, even the the teacher, Red Chick or whatever the guy's name is, Michael
Yeah.
Ironside. He's always Michael Ironside.
Uh-huh.
He talks about how like, you know, we took over with by violence, and violence is real power, and you know, like pacifism, and you can, like it's very much about the ultra hyper nationalism of militarism, like that. That's what Verhoeven was trying to put a lens on. But I totally stole the stage from you. I'm sorry.
But I can say that before I went to the military, that concept was something that has struck core with me.
Sure.
And that's one of the things that was missing from this anime was, and I didn't know whether or not it was a Verhoeven thing or if it was actually a part of the Starship Trooper mythos,
It's a good question.
But civilian versus citizen
Yeah.
is we would be in a much better position if we understood what that meant.
Mhm.
Or even applied it. You can become a citizen in different ways from just government service, but being able to earn the rights of a citizen, it really, I love the fact that Johnny came from an affluent family and he still chose to go into military service. They do a lot of great things in there, but you could have did this with Letters of Iwo Jima. You could have did this with Stripes. You didn't have to do Starship Troopers for this.
Yeah.
So I could understand the frustration of it.
Yeah.
Even from my position,
Yeah.
is it the worst thing I've watched? No.
No, not
Absolutely.
yeah.
But it doesn't stick with the premise of what the whole thing is supposed to be about. And that's the biggest issue of it,
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I do have one more thing I need to point out.
Yeah, go ahead.
For it to be set so fucking far in the future, their adherence to the Budweiser label.
Yes. I totally forgot to bring that up. It's like in
They-
the future, everyone loves Bud apparently.
That's it. they
and
survived the great
Macross and Do
great
You Remember
beer
Love? They
wars.
use Budweiser cans as
Budweiser
missiles.
cans as missiles. Yeah, the great beer wars of the 22nd century concluded with Budweiser surviving.
In the future, all beer is Budweiser.
All beer is Budweiser.
Right. So
Oh,
was
shit.
that was one thing I was like, damn,
Yeah.
I wanted to say that.
That
I
was
forgot to
funny.
bring that up.
I agree.
So I got two more things
yes.
I want to bring up real quick.
Yeah, go ahead, bud.
So first things first, before I suggested it, who even knew there was a Starship Troopers anime?
I did. I did.
Um,
I did, but it was one of those. It's one of those. I'll watch it when I watch it.
I had forgotten. Like you had told me, but
Yeah,
I had
found out
absolutely
about it,
forgotten.
Like I think around the time that we started recording
Yeah.
this, and I went out on a mission to find it, which I did, and I
Yeah.
totally forgot about it.
Yeah. Yeah, you had told me, and I was like, really? And I didn't even
But even
didn't
then,
even
this was
register.
like 2 years back.
Yeah.
If this was one that they revisited, I think it would be much better.
I think if
think
they
so, too.
did choose to do this again, that they need a 12 episode count or a 13
minimum.
episode count. They need something. They need more, because if they were to revisit this and just do it the exact same thing that they just did, yeah, I don't think it would succeed.
And we forgot to talk about one person too, the guy, his best friend from the beginning.
Oh, at the very beginning. Oh, the with the
Carl,
glasses.
Carl.
Carl, yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
They completely. Again, there's such a departure with the whole psychic thing and being able
Yeah,
to.
they
I was
don't.
like,
Yeah, they don't touch any of that shit. They don't touch on that at all, which is kind of why I really feel like this is better as a companion piece, because it does delve more into the science fiction.
It feels more alternate universe as opposed to a companion piece.
Yeah,
Because
Yeah.
like there's so many characters that they did bring over. Like for instance, Diz from the movie.
mm-hmm.
It would have been awesome to see that type of.
Would have loved to have a Diz in this one. Yeah, Diz
Yeah.
was my favorite
However,
character
I
in the
don't-
whole fucking movie. So
We know Diz really did have Starker vibes. If I don't know how we would have handled Dizzy Starker vibes when we had Carmen. I don't know if he could have did it. I don't know.
I don't know. Carmen looked a lot like Denise Richards to me. I'm just saying. Like
You
they
lying. You're a lie.
Now the funny part is, it's like I didn't like Carmen's character in any form,
in any
in
iteration.
the
I've
anime
never
or in the live action movie.
I've never
Couldn't
liked her
stand
character. Yeah.
You know the thing about it, Carmen? I think they robbed her of whatever growth that she was supposed to have, because she was supposed to be a great pilot.
In the
And
movie,
they
she was a
said,
pilot,
"No,
yeah.
you're just gonna be walking the halls. That's all you get."
That's all you do. You're gonna walk some halls. You're gonna
Mhm.
crash into some bubble gum. That's gonna be it. Yeah. No,
Yeah, she did her part in the movies.
they kept it focused on Johnny, which is probably if they were gonna tell a story about, this
Boot
from
camp.
this angle, boot camp, then keeping it on Johnny was the way to go. Because but I don't fault them for it. I just think like if they were gonna do it, they need to double their episode count so that they can pad this out with more actual starshipping and
Mhm.
troopering. It'd be great to see some more starshipping, troopering things.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, I guess we'll call it a wrap on that. I think that collectively we all agree it's worth a watch. What your motivations are for that watch kind of vary amongst all of us, but
And will affect your experience as well.
absolutely do. So yeah, I guess that's gonna do it for our show today. So until next time, keep calm and remember, the only good bug is a dead bug, unless it's a pink bubblegum alien with a beak. Then the only good one of whatever the fuck that is a dead one too.
Would you like to know more?
You've just been privy to the mindless midlife musings of the anime nerd, presented by Geek Grotto. For show notes and corrections, or for general geeky fun, you can visit our website at geek-grotto.com. If you're listening to us on your favorite podcast app, please like, follow, and subscribe.